occupying Wall Street, he's occupying the sports world. Welcome back to PJ Sports Talk. To be on the show, call 1-866-826-1340 or 727-441-3000. Once again, here's PJ.
And we are back on PJ Sports Talk, the place to be every... Ah! Get out of my way! No, get out! No, run! There's a shark! No, there's a gator in the water! There's a gator in the water! Okay, we are back on PJ Sports Talk, the place to be every Saturday at noon. I am live with Dylan, my co-host, and Jason Poole, and we are going to be talking about the championship games today, Saturday, and I'm going to start off with the LSU versus Georgia game.
Yeah, that's the SEC championship today at 4 o'clock on CBS. The SEC is, by far, I believe, the toughest conference, even though some of the teams are down this year. But you got number one LSU, who is undefeated right now, going against the Georgia Bulldogs, who a lot of people don't know have been on quite a streak of their own lately. They have won 10 straight, and they come in with, I think, the best quarterback in the SEC, Tampa native Aaron Murray.
And what makes Aaron Murray so good?
Well, first of all, he's a very competitive quarterback. He is now in his second year in the system at Georgia. He has a tight end who is his favorite target, who he played with at Plant, Orson Charles. So they have a good chemistry together. And he is just a real good quarterback who has a good arm, and he makes smart decisions. And I think Georgia can hang in there with LSU, but I just think at the end, LSU has too much talent on defense. This is going to be the toughest defense Aaron Murray's played against. And I think at the end, LSU pulls it out and wins the game and then heads to the national championship.
I looked at the injuries, and I think just last week, Eric Reed was still hurt. And do you think, is he coming back?
I think if he plays, he can make a difference. He is a difference maker, but I think there's too much depth, and even without him, they're still playing pretty good defense.
And one of those superstars on that defense is Ryan Matthew, and he makes a big difference. He did a punt return, I think, last week, and for a touchdown.
Yep. Well, you know his nickname is the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
And he plays like a honey badger. He gets in there, he rips balls out. He's all over the place. He can come up to the line of scrimmage. He gets in the box and doesn't have any trouble going against the running backs or making the interceptions. He's a difference maker on that LSU defense, and they thrive off of him.
And I know that even if LSU loses this game, they could still potentially go to the BCS Bowl. Do you think, what is the most likely team that's going to go to the BCS Bowl to face LSU?
Well, it's probably going to be Alabama, even though I don't think Alabama deserves to go to the game because, one, they didn't win their own conference, or two, I think that I believe that to go to the national championship, you at least have to play for your conference championship or win the conference championship. Alabama already had their chance against LSU. They played them at home at night in Tuscaloosa, and they didn't get it done. They lost in overtime, but LSU has already proven there. And I think even if LSU loses today, I still think there is a strong chance that they will go to the national championship. Probably will be playing Alabama, even though I think there could be an outside chance that Oklahoma State or maybe even Virginia Tech gets in there.
And would you like to see an Alabama-LSU rematch?
I think it'll be a good game. I think those are the two best teams in college football. It'll be, I don't think it's going to be any different than what we saw in the first game. It's going to be a hard-nosed defensive game. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will win. I personally don't want to see a rematch, but I think that's what we're going to get.
And there's another championship game going on today, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's offense is going to have to play lights out. because Oklahoma's really good. Even though that Oklahoma's their rank is 10, and Oklahoma State's 3. It's not a big difference that the Oklahoma's 7 ranks behind because they're equally as good.
Yeah, Oklahoma State's got a real potent offense. They got a good quarterback, good wide receiver. Oklahoma is a good all-around team. They call this game Bedlam. It's a big rivalry. These two schools are about 2 hours apart, so it's kind of like Florida versus Florida State. In these games, it's a lot of emotion. A lot of these players are familiar with each other. They went to high school together, so it will be real interesting to see what happens in the game. I think Oklahoma State this year has more talent. This game, I believe, is at in Stillwater, Oklahoma, so they have the home field advantage this year. And I think it's going to be a close game, but I see Oklahoma State pulling it out at the end.
And also going back to the SEC, 2 teams are going to the SEC. One of them is Texas A&M. And do you think that they're going to have a tough time in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough adjustment for them, but I think Texas A&M will adjust fine to the new conference.
And even so, also going to the BCS Bowl. If it's not one of those, if it's not Alabama, who is it most likely going to be if Oklahoma State loses to Oklahoma?
If Oklahoma State loses to Oklahoma and Alabama's not going to be in there, I think if Oklahoma State loses, I think it's going to be hands down. It will be Alabama. But I think if Virginia Tech wins today, I think Virginia Tech, if they beat Clemson, I think Virginia Tech could sneak in there because right now they're ranked number 5. And while they seem to always start out slow at the beginning of the year, and with one loss, I think they have a chance to sneak into that game. But also there's undefeated Houston, but even though their strength of schedule isn't tough enough, they're ranked number 6, so it could be a possibility that they get in there. But I think Houston will be into a BCS Bowl, but just not the title game.
And I went to the Bulls game last night, and I forgot what bowl. I went to the Bulls game Thursday, and they Virginia Tech won, or
West Virginia.
West Virginia, my bad. And that's really too bad because if the Bulls won, they would be going to a bowl game, and that would be really cool to watch.
It would be cool to watch. Skip Holtz he's got a young team this year. The Bulls struggled, but every game that they were in, they were close. And that had to do with, I think, the team being inexperienced and young. And I think if they would have won that game and have gone to a bowl game, it would have helped the team for next year because those are 15 to 20 extra practices that they can get in. They can start working towards next year. But they didn't win, but I think next year USF and Skip Holtz, he's starting to make a footprint in the local high schools here. He's a good coach. He's got a national name. So I think USF is a big team to deal with in the next few years. I think they're in the right direction.
And we are talking with Jason Poole, and I'm also live with Dylan, who is right next to me. He's my co-host, Big Teal Dylan. And I see that you're wearing a Florida hat. And the Florida Gators didn't do that well this year. What's their key to being trying to get in a bowl game next year?
Well, they need a lot of help. The defense did improve this year for Florida. They were young, inexperienced. Coach Muschamp has a lot of work to do in the program. The big adjustment they went from a spread offense under Urban Meyer to what Coach Muschamp wants to do is more of a pro-style line of scrimmage, run the ball type of offense. So it was an adjustment period this year. He's out recruiting hard, trying to get the type of players he wants into the program. Even next year, I think they will be improved, but they need to get some playmakers at wide receiver. They need to get a running back who fits their scheme better. They had Chris Rainey and Demps this year, who are fast guys, but they're more of spread offense running backs who get through holes and get out in the open and run. They're not the guys who can run through the tackles and run 25, 30 times a game. So they need to get a running back. I think the defense will be the strength of the team next year, and special teams. With the hopefully next year they get the type of players that they need, and the offense will improve. And I think you'll see more wins out of the Gators next year.
And going well on the fact of the Gators, do you think that even if Will Muschamp or Muschamp will adjust to the Gators themselves and do the spread, do you think that they'll have a better chance?
I think that I think he just needs to stick with the pro style that he knows. I think with his offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss, they are not going to be able to adjust to the spread. Stick to what you know and see if the plan works. And if not, he will either if it doesn't work, Florida faithful, they don't stick around loyal for long. If you're not winning, you're not going to be at the job for long.
All right, we got an update for you from Charlie Biscotti, the camera guy for the Buccaneers. He's going to tell you what's going on in the atmosphere. Charlie Biscotti, here's PJ.
PJ, how you doing today? You doing all right?
Yeah.
You staying healthy?
Yep.
Well, as you know, tomorrow I guess the one quarterback is out, and they got that other guy coming in. What's his name? I'm just trying to test you now. Johnson or something like that, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, it's going to be pretty good. They said it's going to be a fairly good game. The guys here from Fox are hoping it's going to be a good game. We're going to have some good weather, so that'd be kind of nice. I'm actually taking a break, and I went over to this wine store to pick up a bottle of wine for you guys. Now, do you prefer a German, a Russian, or a Chinese wine? What do you prefer? What do you guys like drinking while you're doing your show?
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Oh, by the way,
you go. That's
by
good
the way,
answer.
where are those Bucks tickets?
I actually have them in my pocket. Bill's got them. Bill's got them in his pocket. You'll have to just see him after the show and watch out because his back's hurting him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But now, what I can do is, I promise you, next week I will bring you in the pictures from the game that my friend takes. I'll give you the whole. Every time the coach looks at his photos, the black and white photos, those guys actually give me those, and I'll give you a whole stack of them probably next week. I'll either bring them down to the studio or I'll hand them the bill, and you can tell everybody about the pictures. It shows the play-by-play action of the game. That's a little bit of top secret stuff between you and I.
Me and Dylan want some media passes, actually.
Yeah, I know, but I think you need to be about maybe 5'11", at least 180 pounds to get in. How much you guys weigh?
180 pounds and we're 5'11".
Yeah, sure you are. You know, my old trick was I used to tell people, well, name the 4 Beatles and you can get in. You know what the 4 Beatles are?
We already did.
I know. I never got the answer from you guys. Listen, I got to go. You guys have a good day. Keep the good work up, and we'll talk to you later on. I'll have those pictures for you this week.
Okay, well, you better. Well, anyway, thanks, Jason, for coming into the studio and talking with us about college football.
You're welcome. I'm a big fan of the show. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.